Looks like we're live already. It didn't
We are.
do anything. Wow. What happened?
Good morning.
The intro.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, we came in so nonchalant this time.
I know, right? We're just sitting here like.
Well, everyone, my name is Brian Bacchus.
And I am Tony. Look, our names aren't even up there, which is fine.
What? Oh, you know why? It's because of
it's a Murphy's Law Monday. We're tired.
All the media is turned off.
You know what happened to me? Well, Thursday threw me off with the holiday being on Thursday and then going back to work Friday. Because it felt on Thursday like it was Friday and like Friday was going to be Saturday. So it totally threw me off. So that's probably why we're a little bit weird this morning. But happy Monday. It's June gloom and it's now clearing up. I think it's going to be 78 today, which should be a nice day. Are you awake, Brian?
It's not even June gloom here. It's like bright, sunny. The sun starts coming out at 6 in the desert. That's what it feels like. Once that sun comes in, like I'm in the closet, right? So there's a window right here. And at about 1 o'clock, from 1 o'clock to 7, the sun is beaming directly in it. And if I don't have that thing shut, it's like a sauna in this bad boy. So. Oh,
yeah.
I wish we could get some June gloom or some overcast. That never happens up here. I miss my Altadena. Like, remember last year, or was it the year before, from January to June, it was no sun? I mean, it was just like, what's going on here? That was odd.
Very odd.
Well, as you guys can tell, Jamal is on assignment, so we have been commissioned to do Jamal after. I don't know if it's going to turn out that way because, to be honest, we haven't listened to it yet. We're going to hear it new like you.
We don't know if it's Jamal After Dark or what. Or
Jamal with NBC Nightly News or what have you.
Right. Or welcome to the show. Like Brian or what.
No, that would normally be me. So we're going to pull it up right now. He looks ready to go. And every time he does this, we have to clown because it's funny to us. Because that first time we were thrown off and we didn't know that he was actually going to be doing it that way. So you guys are going to be in it for a shock like us too. So without further ado, Jamal is going to do the announcement. So as soon as I can
11 minutes.
Part, I'm going to say the wrong thing. I don't want to do the welcome to the show thing. Trying to slap me through the thing. Hold on, here we go.
Hey everybody, happy Monday, June 23rd. I'm actually in the field today. I'm not able to be on the show live. So without further ado, I'm going to knock out the announcements. I don't have wifey behind me, so I don't have to be quiet. So announcements.
Dang, we're not going to get after dark.
Anyway, it's going to be normal voice. Here we go.
Good job.
I forgot he does it too.
We're going to start as usual with the survivor support locations. We actually have ours at the Altadena Community Center, 730 East Altadena Drive. They're open Mondays through Fridays, 9 to 5, and closed on the weekends. We also have the LA County One Stop Permit Center. This is available from 464 West Woodbury Road, Suite 210 in Altadena. They have walk-in hours Monday through Fridays from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And you can actually set up an appointment either as an individual or a group on Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. or on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. You can also set up an appointment with the Southern California Edison Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to noon. And in order to set up the appointment, you go to recovery.lacounty.gov/building/rebuilding/1-stop-permit-centers. Next, again, we have the June 30th deadline for those who opted out of the debris removal by the Army Corps of Engineers or didn't do anything at all. You have until the 30th to completely remove your debris from your property, or it might be deemed a public nuisance or declared a public nuisance. And if so, the county may go ahead and take care of getting that debris removed and giving you the bill. And if for some reason you don't pay for that, they may put a lien on your property. So go ahead and avoid all those issues and just take care of getting the debris removed by the 30th. Next, we have the Cal Assist Mortgage Fund. This is for displaced families who, were displaced because of the California disaster. You can get up to 3 months of mortgage payments, up to a maximum of $20,000. And the funds never have to be repaid, and it's free to apply. And the monies go directly to the mortgage servicer if you actually qualify. Now, to be eligible, you have to have the primary residence destroyed or deemed uninhabitable due to the qualified disaster that would have happened either between the 1st of January 2023 through the 8th of January 2025. So everyone qualify under the Eaton fire if you're affected by that. You must own and occupy the home up to 4 units on the property, and you must meet the income limits. To get that information about the income limits and all the other guidelines, go to calassistmortgagefund.org, and you can apply there for free. There's a link that says apply online, and that's what you would click to move forward on that process. Just a reminder, the Altadena community meeting will be this afternoon, Monday, from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. It is going to be hosted by Supervisor Catherine Barger, and you can go to the YouTube page to watch it at youtube.com/@County of Los Angeles Newsroom. Also, there is the lunch at the library. It's free lunch, available Mondays through Fridays, June 9th through the 15th of August, from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. This is located at the Jefferson and Villa Park branches, and the healthy meals are going to be available for children's ages 0 through 18, and no registration is required. So this is a great place to get some food if you need it for your kids. There's free medical and mental health clinic. This is every Monday and Wednesday from 12 to 5 p.m., located at 1280 East Washington Boulevard. Walk-ins or come by to schedule your appointment. The Eaton Health Village, which is where this is located, they're partnering with the LA County Department of Mental Health and several other community organizations to provide free medical and mental health care. Services include medical consultations, medical refills, and mental health services and case management. Dental and vision care are available monthly. So for questions, if you have them, you can call 951-595-7032. Come join Project Hope on Tuesday, June 24th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on Zoom for a workshop that will explore how trauma and chronic stress affect both helpers and survivors. Utilizing self-assessment tools, learn how to recognize early signs of overwhelm. So you get to understand the mind-body impact of crisis. It's a virtual workshop with, as I indicated before, Project Hope. So you can scan the QR code to go ahead and register for that. And then we out here.
We out here.
For B. So we out here is there at Fair Oaks Burger every Wednesday from 12 to 3 p.m. You do have to have proof of your residency, and they're going to have a bunch of different stuff. For those who haven't been there, they have items such as fresh fruit and veggies, hot food and snacks, shelf-stable foods, hygiene products, legal advice, and much, much more. This is located at 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena. And if you're looking to donate, sponsor, or partner, please contact Miss Juicy Little at gmail.com. Then there's Healing Together, our children's mental health after the Eden fire. So this is actually going to be next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at PCC, or Pasadena City College, at the Gravelling Lounge. That's located at 1570 East Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena. And this is put on by Senator Sasha Renee Perez, and staff will be on site to provide state and legislative resources. But to register, you can scan the QR code, or you can go to senate.ca.gov/mental-health. And all of that is in lowercase. Then there's a free community day, Sunday, June 29th at the Arboretum from 9 a.m. to 6:30. Join us or join them for a special day in the gardens as they support those impacted by the LA fires. It's a special community event presented by Frederick Children's Foundation. All day you get to explore the gardens using a variety of different scavenger hunts. Make a wish for the community and tie it to the wish tree. From 9:30 to 5:30, you get to learn about seed dispersal, soil science, wildlife, and Arboretum history, curiosity carts throughout the garden. You get to take a closer look at the Arboretum plants and insects at the microscope table. And then from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., there's raptor visits. And while supplies lasts, you get to take home a free packet of poppy seeds to help support California's pollinator population. So if you want to participate in this, you can just scan the QR code at the bottom, and this should actually be a pretty good event. I'm pretty sure tickets are going to go quickly, or the time slots are going to go quickly. So jump on that as soon as you can. Then there is a Resilience Rebuilding Resource Guide virtual workshop also on Saturday. Well, this is Saturday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. via Zoom. Join LA County for a workshop on the Resilience Rebuild Resource Guide for communities in unincorporated LA County recovering from the Eaton and Palisades wildfires. The workshop will include an overview of the resource guide and the information and resources for planning, designing, and constructing a high-performance building more resilient to fire risks. So register now at the QR code, or you can go to lacounty.pw/rebuild-resources. And lastly, there's the eSTEAM Summer Camp. That's environment, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. There's two locations. One is at Loma Alta Park, which began last Monday, and will go through the 8th of August. And the most recent one that starts tomorrow, or today rather, June 23rd through August 15th, located at Arcadia Park, 405 South Santa Anita Avenue. And this is the LA County Department of Parks and Recs is offering the eSTEAM program throughout LA County. The camp connects children to the outdoors, encourages them to explore early career paths, builds self-confidence, and inspires them to take action to improve their natural environment. Please go ahead and join or scan the QR code to register if you're interested, or you can go to AltadenaTalks.org/eSTEAM 2025. And with that, I want to give it back to Tony and Brian, and hope you guys have a great day. See you guys soon.
Thanks, Jamal.
Just a special addition to the event that took place with Jamal. Thank you very much. I'm going to share this, which is the You're gonna go ahead and take that away.
I got
No, I
you,
mean, take it away like with the words.
Yeah, no worries. So we got this information this morning texted to us, and can we take that banner off
Oh yeah.
at the bottom? Let's see. Which one is on there? Oh, there it is. Hold on. Let me there.
I took it off already.
Thank you. This is this Wednesday, June 25th. There is going to be LA Fire Justice is hosting the Eaton Fire Community Meeting for tenants and families. And it's a panel discussion around total losses, displacement, the process of getting the money you're owed from Edison, and the power of collective effort. Chris Holden, who's the CEO of LA Fire Justice, will be there, and he will open it. There are panelists, Michael Leon, who's a business agent with Teamsters Local 986, Brennan Lamar. He's coming this time as founder and CEO of Project Passion, because he's head of the NAACP in Pasadena. He's a youth pastor at Victory and executive director now at Harambe. Y'all pray for Brendan because he's doing a whole lot. And then there's Jonathan Gardner, president of the United Teachers of Pasadena, and they will be the panelists on Wednesday. It is at 6 p.m. at the Teamsters Hall, which is at 2050 Lincoln Avenue in Pasadena, and refreshments will be provided. If you want to participate and go to this, please scan that QR code to RSVP. And the first 50 individuals that pre-register will be given a relief grant at the event. I don't know how much the grant is, but if you are among the first 50 to register, because you're a tenant or homeowner, any of the things I guess that they're going to be speaking about, you will receive a grant. So if you plan on attending and hearing information, it's at 6 p.m. at Teamsters Hall, 2050 Lincoln Avenue in Pasadena this Wednesday in 2 days. So that was an additional announcement that we sent over to Jamal to add, and it was after he had already done the recording for the announcement. So we wanted to make sure that we put that one in there since we just got it this morning. So anyone who...
Okay, so I'm at the QR code and it has 4 sections. It says, please select which events you plan to attend. Teachers and tenants community meeting, the 25th.
That's it.
On the 6th. Then Eaton Fire Town Hall meeting on June 26th. Then
so it's the one on the 25th.
No, I get it, but there's a whole bunch of them here. So I'm going down the line seeing that we're going to be making some announcements for this for quite some time.
Yeah, so maybe people, because I went to it too. So this QR code, as Brian is telling you, will take you to their Google form. It's the registration form. You have the option there to, I guess you can't see it on my phone because I'm in.
Yeah, let me pull that up because I'm trying to send it to my thing.
The link, docs.
Yeah, because I got to make a short link because it's this is important information, and you're not going to be trying to comb through this long Google.
So I sent it to the whatchamacallit, the WhatsApp.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And you can make a short link from there. So he'll pull it up, you guys, and what you can see, community, I don't mean to say you guys, community, is that
you all
is that there will be a when you go to the QR code, apparently LA Fire Justice is having 4 events coming up. And so on this, you can RSVP for all 4 or just this one. But if you RSVP for all 4, then the first one on there will be this one on Wednesday, the 25th. The second one listed underneath has Eaton Fire Town Hall meeting, June 26th at 6 p.m., which is Thursday. There's a Mental Health Monday, July 7th at 6 p.m. And then there's a weekly coffee chat. It says Thursdays at 10 a.m. So I'm assuming if you click on all of them, you will probably get emails that come out to you that remind you or something like that. And also, if you click where did you hear about us, if you were just hearing about this today on the podcast, please put AltadenaTalks podcast so that they know. Because you do have to put your phone number, your email, name, first name, last name, and phone number.
So I'm making a short link for it called LA Fire Justice Events with an S. So that this way, you can see. I hate when I have to have two.
Hey, Marcus, good morning. Thank you for a great, positive, productive week. Wishing all of you the same.
And there you go, AltadenaTalks.org/LA Fire Justice Events. So that you can register for all 4 items or just the one and come back the next week and register for the next one. It's up to you. Operators are standing by.
Yeah, so that's it. And hopefully that's some information that you all can utilize as part of your recovery. Again, it is there. Scroll back up, Brian, please. It is the Eden
to the top.
Yeah. So people can just see exactly what it is if they just chimed in. And you can go to that link and register if you plan on attending that or any other of their 4 events that are coming up.
Perfect.
So Chris Holden is their CEO. We saw him on Friday. So I think did we talk about it Friday? We saw him on Thursday. Yeah. We talked about it a little bit on Friday. He was there at the Altadena Historical Society's event that we went to, the Juneteenth event at Lamont Park. Were you ever able to bring that up and show any clips of that?
We showed no, because that Friday event, the Thursday holiday and the Friday event threw off my whole week.
I know, right?
Because I thought that Thursday it was Friday, and then that Friday event I thought it was a Saturday. So
that's how it felt. I was like
I lost the day.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it was the real weekend, and it's like, wait, it felt like, so yeah, that was kind of weird. Anyway,
right, I think that's going to happen again next week when the week after that for 4th of July, because 4th of July is on a Friday. So that means everyone's going to have Thursday off and Friday. Well, some companies.
A lot of people don't have Thursday off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some companies, other companies will make you come to work on Thursday.
Yeah, because tech companies be like, take the whole week. That's summer break. And we'd be like, okay, good. And you're off for the whole week and it's paid time off. But yeah, because I love summer and winter break working in tech, because it's usually 4th of July week we're off. And then from like the 23rd or 22nd of December, depending on what day it falls on, until after New Year's, and come back to work then. So it's a nice winter break and summer break over, those holiday weeks or whatever.
I guess our first real event is probably going to be August, because Jamal's, you going somewhere, I'm going somewhere. Jamal's probably going to be doing some things. And
his daughters.
Yeah, daughters.
That's what I said, with his daughters.
They both. Whew, boy, I remember when both my kids, they were 3 years apart. They did everything. They did baseball, they did football, they did tennis. What else they did? My son did basketball, my daughter did not. But yeah, it was busy. Jeez. You be putting on some. And it's mostly just you sitting around waiting for them to do stuff.
Especially track season. I remember when my youngest was in track, and he went to Monrovia High, but he has their record for the 400. They got a state record in the 4x1. They got that's obviously still there because it was only 10 years ago. But but he was a triple athlete. He played basketball, football, and track. And so I lived at the school. across the street, almost cat a corner, right? But and could walk. But I lived at the school because he was constantly doing something, and all those sports overlap. Track, football, basketball, they all overlap. And I was constantly at award ceremonies or team mom here, there, whatever. And I'm so glad, like, my 4, they're all have done their thing, and I'm not, like, you know, involved in that anymore. God bless the parents that are. But track season, you're right. Gotta meet, right? You got to be up and out the house 6:30, 7 o'clock. All day, because the first events are starting, you know, and depending on where it was, Cerritos was always the furthest, but we, you know, San Gabriel Valley, we might be at the Cougar Invitationals at Citrus College or whatever. But you're there, like, I think we got there like 7 in the morning till 10.
Sometimes 11, the whole weekend, because it's a Saturday and Sunday.
Not sometimes, always. If your school was a good team, you're there both days. And starting at 7 in the morning, leave it, you know, the track, because the 400's the last one, and that might be 10 o'clock at night. And depending on how many heats there are, and then you're going to do the first heat to get to whoever's in the finals. Oh, and I would take changes of clothes and have them in the car. And then I would cook breakfast stuff. I'd make sandwiches, and I'd have coolers, right? And so some stuff would stay in the car till it was lunchtime and go switch it out. And I'd make, all the kids would be like, Mama Raines, what'd you bring today? Because they knew I was going to cook. I had all the fruit, right? I cut up strawberries and pineapples and just everything. And then I would make like hot breakfast. I'd get up and make cinnamon rolls or shrimp and grits, or like I was cooking, right? Because I was like, I'm not going to be out here all day just hungry and going to buy stuff. Yeah, hangry, and going to buy stuff that they were cooking. If it was fried, it was all in the same grease. Not so I would literally like make all this food and have it, and then sometimes I'd leave to go get something for dinner food or, you know, whatever. But those meets, the A was on Saturday and the B was on Sunday, and you're there like 7 to 10, 11 or 12 at night. And yeah, it was great that he was good in all his sports, but I was exhausted sports mama. And then the girls did like baseball and tennis, and it was, yeah, everybody was always in something. But I'm thankful because they weren't in the streets or doing something they weren't supposed to. They were, you know, extra activities, but it would make them, you know, great people.
So, you know, I sent you guys a thing on
what's that? Oh, the video that you did? That one. I was like, you know what? You're so ignorant. I really like you.
So you guys know that I'm the master AI guru in marketing. So I do a lot of stuff that's funny, and I run across these things and I go, oh, that's real funny. So I'm going to show you guys this. This is something this was a picture that we took during the volunteering stages up at Loma Alta back in, was it April? Was it April?
Yes. Please forgive Brian, y'all.
So, no, I'm going to apologize to the victim in this.
I can tell you his name. It's in my phone. He's one of the directors for the county for Parks and Rec.
That's right. That's why I want to say sorry. Or ahead of time. Without further ado, here we go.
Mind you, only he got chased.
Right, that was the whole point. That was
I know.
One person. Well, you're supposed to be standing still. The lion won't mess with you, but if you run, he's going to come to get you. So like the bear theory. That's what I like to do. I like to make funny videos. Next, we're going to have a show where we're all babies.
Oh, Lord, not you doing the baby one.
That's going to be fun. So,
Jamal is a baby doing the announcements after dark.
I know. That will be even funnier. Now, he's lucky I didn't have enough time to do that yesterday, because if I had to went to that
Oh, you'd
I
have
had
done
to
it.
go to the event, I would have done it. And it would have been funny because it would have been the same voice and mannerisms. So it would have been easy because there's not too much movement, you know. And he was only on there with like 20 seconds, 25 seconds.
Yep.
So yeah. Well, we don't really have much for you all today. Tony, if you have any last words, you have the floor.
I don't. I was just getting ready to say, so you guys, this is a short show because we don't have much. We just had the announcements and then wanted to get that information out about the Eaton Fire community meeting with LA Fire.
Oh yeah, we did have that. We did go to an event last Friday, Dina Collab, I believe it is. And it was very interesting. And to me, it seemed like the people that were there wanted to be there and wanted to actually get some things done. I have a task for the group that I have to put out, and that's a list of all of the grant tours in Pasadena. And what our group discussed is that we're going to divvy up those lists and call these people, not apply to anything, just call them to find out how they can participate in different things, because foundations aren't always giving money. Sometimes they'll give like in kind or something like that. So we might be able to get a location to use on a regular basis or something like that. So that was majority of the discussion, as well as a centralized area or what do you call that? Google Drive location where people can register that don't know anything, don't know what's going on. Because that's what I found out Friday. There's a lot of people just don't know where to go. And that's why we have this show, so that you can start here. And if you don't, if you know seniors or others that have not had a chance to find out where resources are, this is why we're here, so that we can provide you with information for out there. And if you have anything to add to that, go ahead. That was just my take. My group. Remember, they divided us up in groups. I already know.
It just bewilders me that we're 5+ months out and people still don't have any information.
And I don't get it, because I go look for it all the time. So do you. So does Jamal. That's what Facebook is for. Oh, I don't do Facebook. That's what Instagram's for. Oh, I don't do Instagram. Well, you just lost everything. Maybe you should start an account and start looking for stuff, because we don't know where you are. Next door, I have to say, next door, we don't put stuff in there.
And I'm going to say this every day until I'm blue or purple. Where's the self-accountability? I have really realized how many people want others to think for them, do the work for them and everything. And they don't want to take any accountability that it's on them to go and find the information. Granted, there are some seniors that aren't tech savvy. Granted, there are some disabled people. Outside of them, or even still, I have 2 elderly parents. I'm gonna make sure I get the information for them, right? And say, go here, go there, whatever. So people that have never had any children and don't have any friends, that's a different story as well. But the others, I don't understand. Maybe this is the way my brain functions, how people don't know information. And we are June 23rd. And this fire happened the 7th and 8th of January.
Yeah, 5 months ago.
We're 6 months in almost. And people still seem to want others to get everything for them or do everything for them. And even at my table, I had to say, I don't understand how all these people blame everyone and want no self-accountability. Granted, we know about Edison, right? Leaving that tower up that should have been taken down in 1971. But then I was like, I don't understand why they're going to the state demanding $200 million from the state to rebuild the houses, because it's not the state's responsibility. Right. And Zaire Calvin was at my table talking about, yes, it was their fault. No, it was not the state's fault. First of all, we all live in California by choice.
Yeah, you know the consequences.
And we know we have earthquakes and fires, just like people in Texas and other places, Florida, they know they got hurricane season. They know they got tornado season, right? California, we have earthquakes and fire season. And if I don't clear brush from my property, not saying that this is what caused this fire or anything, but we know what we're supposed to do. We also know that we're extremely dry normally. And that this was a wind event that we've never seen, right? And so to blame the state for that, the state doesn't control the wind. To blame the state for something that Edison should have done their part in, to blame the county, I don't understand that. Yes, there were failures. We know that. Yes, my understanding is I just saw a photo last night from somebody who lives on like Lake and Concha on the west side of Lake, but said that he was constantly going out looking. And prior to the fires coming, they could see the orange glow over to the east, but they weren't right there on the hills. But the fact is, I guess there were a ton of firefighters and sheriffs and all that staged in the lower parking lot of Farnsworth Park. And then next thing she knows, or they know, they're having to evacuate and go down the hill, and all those rescue or personnel are gone. Well, I understand we would like them to try to put things out, but the way the winds were, the speeds that the winds were, no helicopters or airplanes could get up to drop water or fast check because it was too dangerous. And if it meant we have to say, if all of us want to live, all of us firefighters, sheriffs, all of that, right? We got to evacuate and get out of here. It's life over property. That's how it should always be, right? And if they made that decision to preserve all the lives of the rescuers or whatever, okay, I wasn't in that decision making. But I wouldn't have wanted any of the firefighters or any of the emergency personnel to perish because they were trying to save all the homes either, right? And so it just, maybe I'm not comprehending something, but I don't understand how we are blaming our state and think that the state needs to give $200 million for people to rebuild their homes. And I'm like, where's the self-accountability of insurance? I get that some people were underinsured because they never thought, oh, I need to update my insurance. I've been in this house 40 years or 20 years or whatever. And I never thought, do I need to update it because codes change and, all kinds of things change. And then I'm hearing stories of people that paid off their house and then said, oh, I don't need the insurance anymore. So I'm confused as to, like, I drive a car every day. I can't decide to take the insurance off when I pay my car in full, knowing that by law I have to have insurance. And if I get in an accident, who's going to pay to get it fixed?
And that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah, so I don't understand.
I had insurance though. Then the car was paid off just so I could make sure that the lady that did the U-turn against me, even though it was deemed my fault, but it was her fault, my insurance still took care of her thing, and I still didn't have to go to jail or get sued or whatever.
But that's what the law is. And just the same with the house. And so what I'm questioning or wondering is it because people think, how regular conventional mortgages have PMI, which is the mortgage insurance.
Insurance to cover you under 20%. You don't have 20%.
I'm wondering now if people think once the house is paid off and the PMI is done, they no longer have to have a homeowner's insurance. My brain doesn't.
Sometimes they haven't been schooled. They haven't been trained. They haven't been taught.
But even with the PMI, you still had to have homeowner's insurance.
Right, but you would think that the insurance agent would have called you up and let you know that too. So there's two different situations here. I know I would want to keep the client.
Like I'm, when
you're not acting like anything. You're spitting facts.
I just don't understand. And that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, okay, I paid my house off. Now I'm going uninsured. Like, that doesn't make sense. And then a natural disaster. This was a natural disaster. This was no man's fault, right?
Right.
It was deemed a natural disaster by Biden. Thank God he was still in office at the time, and by our governor. So if it's deemed that, which allows FEMA and some other things to happen, how can we now go and demand that our state give $200 million for people to rebuild their houses?
I mean, it's a great gesture, but I don't know how that will fare. I mean, I would like to see it happen because it's unfortunate that this happened. But a lesson should be learned for the younger generation that have taken over these homes, that it's not fun and games. You can't just slide this. Just like how these kids nowadays do not want to drive, and Uber is there and that's all they do. Like, in a case of emergency, look, what if I'm having a heart attack and you need to get me to the hospital? You're gonna wait for the Uber driver to get there? You know,
I don't know anybody who doesn't want to drive. All my kids.
I know a lot of kids.
Motorcycles, all that.
Oh, they don't want to. They want you to take them. My son was like that for a minute, and he was before that. Nope. You're gonna learn how to drive, and you're also, whenever I take you somewhere, I'm gonna take you there so you can see how to get there, and I'm gonna take you right back home so you can go get that bike and ride over there, because our parents was not taking us anywhere unless they were going to.
They would, but then they would be like, get on the bus, figure it out. Somebody did a mad emoji. I don't know. Lila Lucky. Layla, can you tell us why you did the mad emoji? Because if it's regarding what we're talking about, I would love, when I say I'm serious, I'm not trying to be mean, nasty, or anything. I don't understand. And we would love for you to join our discussion in the chat or whatever, so we know.
Where do you see that?
Up top. See where the emojis are above AltadenaTalks? It's I'm sure for the Facebook. And then on Facebook, there's an angry emoji. Maybe she's angry because
maybe it was one of the things, because we see it all late, so we don't know we talk about stuff.
Yeah, maybe she's mad because I said I don't understand how people. I don't understand that though. That's why I'm saying it. Like, I'm not downing anybody. Oh, okay, wait. She said, "Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. My phone slipped." Oh no, it's okay. Not mad at all. Oh, okay. No, and the thing about it is, even if it was, I'm not going to be upset. I would just want you to engage with this and say, this is what you were upset about. Was it because I said, I don't understand how they can demand $200 million from the state to rebuild their houses or whatever? Like, when I tell you I'm dead serious, I don't understand how anybody could think that we could demand that from the state and it should happen. I just want to know. Hey, Zaire, he said the fact that you're speaking on people who lost everything is a problem. No, it's not, Zaire. And the money is allocated to help Altadena rebuild and includes infrastructure to lobby and actually funds. Things are done. Don't speak on it. I can speak on it. That's why we're on this show, Zaire. And I know you're going everywhere with every politician you can get, next to and all of that. And that's fine. But I am part of somebody that lost everything too. So if you don't like it, sorry about that, bro, but we're going to speak on it, whether you like that or not. So, yeah, I said you were there and we had the discussion because you were at the table that I was at, because we were all number 9s at this event Friday. And this was part of our discussion. I said this then. I don't understand, and I'm trying to get understanding, right? Yes, people had full insurance. There are people that were underinsured, and there were people that had no insurance. I don't understand when it's a natural disaster, when we know that, the not taken down tower is the one that should have been decommissioned in 71 and taken down. How now, after the fact, we can say the state is responsible to rebuild these houses. We need $200 million. So that's what I don't understand. If somebody can help me to understand that, that would be great. Because even Zaire, and I did say your name because you were at our table, along with Taylor and some other people. If you can explain that, Because even Friday, you said, well, I'm up there lobbying. Yes, you're lobbying, but that doesn't give an explanation as to how people, even a whole town, whether it's just us, Altadena, or whether it's Palisades, whoever, can say to the state, you should give us $200 million to rebuild. That's the part that I don't understand. Where's the self-accountability for some of it, right? For I have to insure my house. So we talked about it Friday. There was no full discussion or full explanation, and I'm saying it again now. If you don't like what I'm saying, I can't help that, right? We are people. Everyone will not agree on the same thing. But I also know you keep telling people you speak for all of Altadena, and you don't. So again, this is all for rebuild. We all need the funds. Oh, sorry. You hitting it and I'm hitting it. Sorry about that. The state agrees. That's why. So did the state agree and did they approve the $200 million? Because I haven't seen that yet. Have you, Brian?
People who are irresponsible and not having insurance, paying your house
What'd you say?
off, and you don't have insurance. You talking to me?
I couldn't hear you for a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You can't hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No, I was talking about we were talking about the people who paid their homes off and didn't feel the need for insurance.
Yeah.
Same as paying
That I
your
didn't
car
understand
off,
that either.
and you don't feel you need insurance. Yeah. So I'm like, I would never do that. If I had a house, I would always have insurance. I don't care if it's paid off or not, because number one, that house should have a beneficiary. It should never be able to be taken so that if something happens, you're going through probate. And that's what I thought the Sasha Perez initiative was. Okay, because these were the people who who were going through probate now because the grandchild who owned the house, who was in the trust, who they never transferred the property information over to. So that's what I thought this initiative was for. I didn't know it was to rebuild the homes. I thought it was to get them back to the point where they could claim their property and be able to build. Because never did it say that they didn't have insurance.
You're breaking up a little bit, Brian. And so now we have another comment from Zaire that says,
just didn't have the art.
That says, again, this is for the rebuild. Now? We all need funds. The state agrees. That's why they approved it. So I said, did they actually agree? So then Zaire says, yes, they did $100 million. That's not the $200 million. And if I'm not mistaken, the $100 million has gone to that fund to pay mortgages for up to 3 months. And it says, and this is not for people who didn't have insurance. You're not speaking the truth. We didn't say that this was for people that didn't have insurance. And then you say, Zaire, this type of talk doesn't help anything. Okay, so we're going to go back. I don't know if you jumped in at the very beginning or not, but now you are mixing things, and that's what doesn't help. And as far as speaking the truth, we're going by what we know. So we know that there has been, and I believe you're part of it, Zaire, a consortium or a group of people that have gone to the state and say we need $200 million to rebuild our homes, right? Or to help rebuild Altadena. So I do know that the $100 million has gone towards that mortgage relief, which people, if their not insurance companies, their mortgage lenders are part of it, they can apply and get up to $20,000 for 3 months worth of mortgage payments. We know that's the truth. We've been talking about it every single week. And we're not talking negative, and we are talking about the community, Zaire. But we're also not showing up places saying we're speaking for all of Altadena, like you have done at several events, including at the water meeting recently. And people on the town council were highly pissed off about it. And you have this hashtag Zaire for Altadena, like you're running for office or whatever. We don't know what that's about. But you don't speak for all of Altadena. you don't even speak for all of your own block of Las Flores, which a few people that live there have told me that. And you, in the beginning, tried to tell me when you came to the Builders Town Hall and tried to get me to work with you that you're speaking for all of Altadena. And that's not true. So whether you're dealing with lots of groups in the community, that's great, because it is about Altadena and it is about us rebuilding and being back and everyone being happy. But let's not confuse and twist things and say one thing or another. So we know the state did approve the 100 million, and to our knowledge and what we understand, that is what that fund is for, to help pay mortgages. If it's something different and you have documentation on that, please give it to us, because we don't want to give inaccurate information. That's the whole thing. We try to find out, we try to vet, we try to talk to the right people, Zaire, to get the right information. And so if you have other information, since you're speaking all the time to Senator Sasha Perez and Senator Harbedian and Rep. Judy Chu and Supervisor Barger, if you have different information that is documented, please send that. Just like at the event Friday, we had the young man named Io was there, right? And when we went around and wrote things, he wrote, permit fees have been waived. And I said, Io, please don't put permit fees have been waived. He said, no, I'm sorry. He said, permits are now free. And I said, don't put that. I said, as of now, the fees are deferred with the full intent to waive them once they reallocate or get the funds, which the county has said will be approximately $120 million. And once they have that, then they will fully be waived. Right now, they're deferred with that intent. And people, they have also stated people who have paid them will get a refund. So that's my understanding. That's what's been documented. And that's what Catherine Barger said on her video just last week that she posted on her page. So when I said that, Io said, well, same thing. That's just semantics. I said, but Io, we're writing it down and we're all here to work together. So we don't want to put permits are free when right now, and I told him somebody just went on Thursday and still had to pay the permit fees. I said, because things also from the time that the board approved it unanimously, they have to like get it in place and it has to trickle down. But when people are going still, and I told him just yesterday, they still paid permit fees. So don't say, oh, they're free when there's a whole process, right? So that's what it is, Zaire. We know that all of this stuff is a process. So if you've been up there legislating and lobbying and all that, that's amazing, right? Whether it's you or somebody else. But if they're saying we want 200 million to help rebuild Altadena, then state that. Don't state to rebuild. Don't say 100 million will go to mortgages over here, and then we need 100 million so we could redo infrastructure. We want this redone. We want all this redone. Right?
I'm not even quite sure that that's even the case, because I'm looking at Sasha Perez's page and it says, I stood with community organizations and residents demanding more help to fight back against outside real estate speculators who are buying up land from vulnerable residents. I will be championing their request for 200 million in state funding for the Altadena Community Land Trust mission of keeping Altadena local. So it's not really raising money to build homes. It's raising money to keep the properties from being taken from big corporations and stuff like that. So I just wanted to have clarity. Yeah, that's on her. I'll share it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's what we want. We want what they say, we're just going to re-say, right? And if they literally put it in writing, that's all we have and that's what we can say. And those are the things we're saying. So until you create money for the community, and the fact that as fire victims lost everything, having people speak on it negative.
Yeah, why don't we just let her words speak for her?
Exactly.
Our community and our historic Latino community. This is why I'm here tonight to support the community's request for $200 million in state funding for a community land trust. The funding we are requesting would go to mission-driven nonprofits who are committed to preserving the economic and racial diversity of Altadena. It would allow them to acquire fire-damaged properties, which can be redeveloped and sold at affordable prices and maintained as community ownership. We must protect Altadena fire victims from harassing and predatory corporate buyers making low cash, unsolicited offers to buy their families' homes. This poses a major threat to the rebuilding of our close-knit community because they will lead to gentrification and displacement of many residents, including our historic Black community and our historic Latino community. This is why I'm here tonight to support the community's request for $200 million in state funding for a community land trust. The funding we are requesting would go to mission-driven nonprofits who are committed to preserving the economic and racial diversity of Altadena. It would allow them to acquire fire-damaged properties, which can be redeveloped and sold at affordable prices and maintained as community ownership. We must.
And
that's
so
on our
I just
IG,
want to make
right?
sure we heard it. Yeah, Senator SRP is her handle.
And is that a Senate bill 658 or something like that?
Yeah, Senate Bill 658. I was actually going to look.
And so I wonder if that 100 million is that was taken out for the mortgage. Is that part of that Senate bill?
Well,
because if it is, that wouldn't go towards a land trust. That is going directly as mortgage relief for those that qualify based on income, all of that.
Yes, I don't see any information on that other than automated external defibrillators. So that might be part of the bill.
And then we talked last week about Assembly Bill, what was it, 1253? Yeah, AB 1253 that the assessor came on and talked about because he said that bill didn't go through and it would be good for people to come back together so we can get that brought back up because the permit or the code changes versus the assessor are not going to align. Meaning, you remember when he said it could be 10% or 200 square feet, but that would be fully whatever that new build is, that would be assessed separately from your old assessment because all of that's considered new. And when we said, well, we thought that it was somehow combined, or we were thinking it had to do with the assessments, he said it doesn't have anything to do with the assessments. And so he said that him and Assemblyman Schultz out of Burbank put that bill up and it was not approved. And he let us know there are 58 assessors all throughout California, the different counties. And this would apply to all of them. So that may be a reason that that bill was shot down or not approved.
So this bill that Sasha is doing is actually for both Eden and Palisades, according to.
So it's not just Altadena.
Yeah. So it's,
yeah.
And that was introduced on February 20th, and it's got a lot of redactions, so it's still going through its process of revision.
So it hasn't been fully approved as law or anything like that yet.
Yeah, so we gotta wait. This is gonna take a while.
It's gotta
watch
go back
Schoolhouse Rock.
committee.
I'm just a bit.
Right, and it's got to go from one committee to the next, and all the changes and all the.
You can see a lot of this stuff was taken out, so
Yep.
there's a whole lot of revisions going on. So I don't know when we will know
Post-Disaster
for sure.
Community Stabilization Act. Yeah,
Because it's cut, including 16,000 structures, which includes
both.
both.
Oh, but that's also, it's everybody. Eaton, Hertz, Lydia, Sunset, Woodley, and Hughes fires.
Yeah, so that money might not go, all of it might not go to Altadena.
Right.
I would, if I were anyone, if anyone says anything about bills and stuff, we have the power and the ability to go look them up ourselves so that you can keep yourself abreast of what's going on. I mean, they do have certain sections in there, like if land is lost in speculation, the community is harmed by these fires, risk to lose their unique assets and culture, which only exacerbates an already disproportionate impact on Black families who build generational wealth and create a sanctuary in Altadena being redlined out of other parts of the region. So please, people, read these things. Don't just assume that, don't even believe us.
Right, because what she was talking about in the clip that you brought up was that bill, 658. Now Zaire's saying something else, 851 for Altadena and Palisades. So go and look up any of the bills that you want, 658, 851, 1253, which has to do with assessments and all that, and see what's what and read it for yourself because it's right there.
All these bills are public knowledge, public accessible.
Yeah.
And this has been amended twice. First, it was introduced on February 20th, then March 26th, it was amended, then April 10th, it's amended. So it's probably, and I don't even know, is the Senate in session since now it's summer?
They are until end of June. You remember when we were there at Lomelta Park on Thursday?
Right.
No, Friday night when we were at PCC. Darla, who was there, Darla and Spencer are the two that were there on Thursday. But Darla is Senator Sasha Perez is one of her, people in her office, her representatives. And she was saying to me that they go out right around, I think the 4th or whatever for summer break. Because I said, around 4th of July. She said, yeah, for a couple weeks. And then they're back in session, but they're in session now. And so she's not going to be down here a lot because she flies out, I think, on Mondays and goes up while she's there during all the week or whatever. So,
it looks like on May 12th, they placed this on suspense file and everybody voted to pass that. So it's been put in.
Which one is that?
Oh, am I sharing this? This is 658.
It's real small on my screen. Yeah. And then the other one, is it?
Can you see it now?
Yeah, it wasn't you. I had it. Yeah, you know how we can. Right. So Senate last amended committee motion placed on suspense file on 5/12.
Yeah, so I guess they won't be coming back to talk about this until.
So that's not passed at all yet. That's on suspense. And the other one, is it Senate Bill 851? Because Senate Bill 851 for the California legislature is Personal Income Tax Law, Small Business Relief Act from 2122. So we're not sure which bills they are, but I guess we'll gotta look and.
Well, these are all the ones that Sasha is doing right here. She's got 24 bills out. They could range from anything. So 658 is down here. There's homeowners insurance to declare.
There's an 848, 845, but I don't see an 851. Yeah, so we'll find it. But anybody can go and look also on the California legislator website. And
we also ask you guys, if you find stuff that we don't know about, send it to AltadenaTalks@gmail.com because that's where we're at.
And then we can bring it up and discuss it. So not quite.
He's the 851.
Huh?
I was trying to go back to. Did you put these comments up or no?
Well, Zaire, this is true, and this is what all of us are doing, God's work, including on this podcast, and nobody is trying to get anything for it. It's about Altadena. It's about the community we all grew up in.
It's really about the truth and fact, and that's what we need people to actually know, because this show was created to become a voice for Altadena. I never imagine that it would get to the point that it is now. But I just was wanting to rant about what's going on and vent my frustrations, and then turn it around to tell people about where they could go get stuff. And now we are at the point in this show where people are coming to us to get facts and information, and that's what we're trying to give them. But we also welcome comments, and we're not going to not show your comments, even if it's something that's going to be argumentative with us, because everyone's whole goal is to get to the truth of the matter.
It's just
because
simple
we're all confused.
Well, it's simple discussion. It's not even argumentative. It's, again, everybody is their own separate individual. I'm not going to agree with you, Brian, a lot, right? Because I have,
you don't.
Right. Because I have the way I was raised versus the way you were raised, this and that, right?
Right. And that's the contrast of why this show works, is because we got rich man, poor man up in this joint.
I'm saying, okay, Zaire, tell us. And I'm posting the comments and reading them, right? It ain't about nobody being mad. It ain't about, it's everybody trying to do what everybody can do for the community, period. Mm-hmm. He said, I've supported since the beginning. Now this has gotten more than most. And this show has gotten more than most. I appreciate the show and support it. Yeah, I don't know what that one means, Zaire. Explain that about this show has gotten more than most. Yeah, you have supported the show, and you continue to, and that's great. Because guess what? It's going to take an effort of everybody who's from Altadena, including newer Altadenians, I call them, that have been there 5 years, 10 years, 8 years, 12 years, whatever, to do it, to make sure that it comes back, our town comes back the way it should, right? With the correct infrastructure. And one of the things that I've said, and Zaire, you've probably seen as much as you've watched, people are going to sell their land. We can't get mad at people because we don't know their situations, right? We got to show people grace. And people were mad about Black Lion, but then found out recently Black Lion is, what is his name?
Dude.
The
one
Jose
that won the lottery.
And right. Altadenians, him and his brother grew up in Altadena. He's the one that won the $2.1 billion a few years ago at the Arco on Woodbury and Fair Oaks. And he literally has said, I think they brought to date 15 properties, but people are like, but these LLCs keep buying them. And I said,
well, you don't know who these LLCs are.
Got an LLC. Brian got an LLC. Anybody that trust me, if I have the money and I want to go buy two lots or something through my LLC and then build on them so that somebody I know from Altadena can buy, or my children who grew up in Altadena can buy, then so be it, right? We don't know, but what happens is people are like, oh, these LLCs are buying, and they post it and it panics people. It freaks people out. And it's like, let's ride it out a little bit. Let's wait and see, because quite frankly, I'm glad that, what's his name, Edwin?
I think it is.
Castro? I think so. But it's Castro brothers. One is Edwin, I believe. That was the winner of the lottery. And the other one, Jesse, I think is his brother. But they're like, we are buying these lots because we want to rebuild Altadena. We want to help rebuild. They know they're not going to buy every single lot. And whether that means
more than what they got anyway.
Yeah. And whether that means they rebuild and do them affordably, or only give them to, people they know or in their family, sell them to them. None of us know.
Nope.
None of us know.
Can't do anything about that,
And can't. And the thing is, if people choose not to sell, then and rebuild or do whatever, right? But if people choose to sell, because we've heard it all, and you have heard it, Zaire, we don't want a bunch of developers coming in and changing Altadena and the aesthetics and the way it looks, because every other house is
trying to be
you might have a mid-century modern next to a John's cottage, next to a Spanish, that's what makes our town unique, right? And so nobody wants everybody to come in and change that. But we know that before the fires, there were lots selling. And if lots sell and somebody comes and decides to tear it down or remodel and build what they want, nobody can change that. So that's the same with after the fire.
Here's my thought. Everybody knows somebody that's selling their house. There's a lady across the street from where I live. She's 85 years old. She's not going to come back. She's going to sell her property. Well, if you know she's selling her property and you know 3 people in the neighborhood, you all can get together and buy that property to keep the neighborhood like you want it, then so go ahead and do that.
Yep.
But a lot of us right now can't afford to do that, because right now you can't buy a parcel with a loan right now, because they know it's going to take them years to build that back. Unless you're going to do a cash offer to get it, it's going to go through a lot of red tape. You know, this is a lot of red tape just to buy a house that actually is there, not just the land part. So, you know, I always tell people, look, if you want to plan on purchasing, get your credit score up, start looking at FHA loans. You know, they can combine the 203K and the 203H loan to help you out. Combine your strengths with
and
other
if
people.
don't know what those are to build a lot and to buy a home. Those 2 loans that you just
and disaster. The 203H is for disaster situations. But this is why we have this show. I mean, we've taken you to, I don't know, 6 town halls. We go to town halls. We give you the summaries on our site. We're doing everything that we can to make it so that we're your one-stop shop for information.
Well, and we bring the right people on, because like we say every day, we're not the experts. That's why when it came to the information about the cleanup, we brought the colonel on. When it came to, we need to know the actual facts about this 10%, 200 square feet property taxes, we brought our county assessor, Jeffrey Prang, on. We've got people lined up. We brought
builders on so that they can tell you the process. Not only did we bring builders on in February, but then we brought them on in March, and then we brought them on in April, and now it's May, and here comes June. And our last builder we brought on was Level 42, and they actually gave more insight, because as you go along this path, things are going to change. You know, and I mean, who knew that we were going to get streamlined permits? Who knew that Barger was going to be able to get the things deferred for 2 years or waived for 2 years? You know, because you got to remember, everybody wants to not pay for everything, but how do you think these workers get paid that are giving you the permits? They got to have money coming in to balance their budget so they can go on vacation, so they can have their kids go to baseball and pay their own mortgages. So yes, we have had a devastation.
And Level 42 was not our last builder. BZ Build Co. was our last builders that came on a few weeks ago in June. You
see how we do so many. Yeah. I forget. You know, that's right, because we actually went to visit them. You know what?
Weeks ago Wednesday.
I was looking at the Level 42 shirt.
Brian, let me tell you something. Don't even trip. When you said that, I said, wait a minute. It was Level 42. And I was like, and it just clicked.
It was BZB.
But yes, we keep bringing people on. We keep bringing builders on. We have
we have a list now of people who want to be on, but we haven't had time to vet you yet.
Valerie Jones, I got to call her today, from the Altadena Historical Society. What I really learned over the last couple of weeks too, because we keep hearing, and I kept saying, no, Altadena is not a historically Black town per se, right? Because it's not. The Woodburys founded it. It's just that a lot of people, after they were redlined, moved to Altadena who happened to be Black. We've heard about Latino, but we've left out a whole population, and that was the Japanese. Because when the majority of it happened, it was the Black and Japanese, even before the Latino. And I didn't know that until 2 weeks ago when I went to that thing that was held at Victory, what was it? The oral history of Pasadena, and then of Altadena, and the redlining, and the people that were in there. I was shocked, and it was so diverse, because it was Japanese, white, Black, that it happened to them, right? And they're still alive, and they were talking about it. And then the Altadena Historical Society on Thursday with the clip, and they're getting more. And so there's so much that keeps coming out of this disaster, which was unfortunate, but it's bringing so much clarity and great information about our town and about the Pasadena, Altadena community as a whole, right? And the more we learn, the better we are, and the better we are for our rebuild, right? So the fact is, and I did see something, Zaire, that you put on here that said you keep losing doing God's work, all while we keep losing. Sorry if you keep losing things, but as you know, anybody that's truly out here doing God's work, we're going to take hits. We're going to have losses. And as long as we stay focused to continue doing his work and his will, we're going to be all right. We'll get rewarded in God's way and time, however, and whatever that looks like. But we got to remember that this is about all of us and stay together and not argue and bicker and say, we've had people upset that we got this grant that we didn't even put ourselves in for. But there are people out here. What they don't realize
is that we've been paying for this out of our pocket since day one. And I even took the money from what I was supposed to use for me for essentials and gave it so that we can keep this going, because it's bigger than us.
Way bigger than us. And I believe we're going to continue to get grants, and we have to wait until we get the parameters from the people that are giving us grants or that are putting our names in the hat somewhere, so that we know what we can spend it on. We want to do something for the community. We want to be able to host an event, and we want to be able to give people money, renters and people that are kind of slipping through the cracks, that have to keep moving and may not have all the renter's insurance or whatever. That's the desire of our hearts. But right now we can't touch it. We got to let that money sit, and we're okay with that, because until we get from them, we gave you this money to keep your podcast on the air.
Here's the structure.
And give us that. We don't want to go and spend it on something for the community and then come back and say, oh, you messed up. We gave it to you specifically to pay for this podcast for 5 years or whatever. And then we're being generous because that's where our hearts are. We're now also looking at writing in for grants that we can, as AltadenaTalks Foundation, not just the podcast, but our foundation, get the money and give it right back to the community, because there are needs every day still that are not fully being met. If we get millions and millions, trust our whole purpose for that, because we do want that. It's not to pay us. It's not to keep this on the air because it's not costing us that. It's so that we can maybe, as a foundation, buy lots and build affordably, or find those people that are underinsured or uninsured altogether. The three of us have talked about this and say, okay, we can partner with whomever, right? Get this, whether it's Green Line or whatever, or we buy the lot and rebuild on it and get those people back in it. It's not for us. It's not for us to be like, oh, we want to buy this lot and make $2 million off of it. No, it is to do just what that, or to be able to say, okay, we got this money that came into the foundation, Green Line Housing, or this other San Gabriel Valley Land Trust, or Legacy Land Project through Victory. This is where we want to put this money, because you're all doing the same thing. We all, our entire Altadena community, wants the best for Altadena and wants our community to come back in the most perfect way we can, with upgraded coding, that we have to follow, to the hardscapes, to whatever, but we want to do it right. And if it means that because we're now a podcast and a foundation, that some of the money comes into us to get it to others, because foundations can give to other foundations, then that's what we're going to do. But we're also going to tackle the tough topics. We're also going to say, yeah, so-and-so was at this meeting. Like you were, Zaire. We sat at the same table, and you were saying one thing and I was saying one thing, and we agreed on some things and we didn't see eye to eye on some things. And that's how it's going to be, because we're different individuals, and that's okay. But we got to have dialogue continuously, and we got to keep meeting with all the other groups like we did on Friday, right? So that we can all get this done. I got a call this morning from somebody that was like, hey, we were doing X, Y, and Z through this org, but we just found out that their EIN and their 501c3 aren't linking, don't match up, and they actually don't have a 501. It's something else. So what can we do? Because we already purposed to give this amount away to certain individuals. And so they said, can we maybe do it through you guys, meaning our foundation? Absolutely. It's not going to come to us and go to anybody else. It's going to go to those individuals that they already have those names. The only difference is our EIN and our foundation is synced. It's right. We're good. And so that means we'll just be a conduit for it to flow through. So guess what? If that gives that other organization time to get their stuff synced and right, but the people that were given these grants or scholarships or whatever else and need them now, if they got to funnel it through us, then that's what we're going to do, because that's all about the community. So
you got to have checks and balances. You can't come back later and try to recoup the money, because they'll just dissolve.
So that's the kind of stuff, even on the back end, people don't know that we're doing, right? Because we're getting calls. We're getting people saying, hey, we want to give you some money. Hey, we want to do this with you. Hey, we want to collaborate with you. And that's fine. That's what our lane is, to be on here, to give accurate information, to bring the experts on so they could give accurate information. Because I got a call, Chris Holden, he gave me his card Thursday. Got to call Valerie today because Chris wants to come on the show. Valerie wants to come on the show. Judy Chu, Enrique told me to call him today. Sasha told us to call her. And so when I saw Darla again Friday, she said, call Spencer on Monday, because Sasha said she wants to come on the show. Senator Perez, John Harbedian's office, like they want to be somewhere that the Altadena community can get the accurate information from them, right? And if that is here, Zaire, if you got accurate information that you want to come on the show and literally say to the people, we'll bring you on the show. We're not against bringing anybody on the show, because this is for our community. And if this is where the information has to come from, then so be it. And that's anybody else on here. Marcus has come on several times. What's her name again? Who came on that day? She's a realtor. And Elaine, thank you. Sorry, Elaine Scotton. My brain would not even think it. Elaine, come on.
Well, as soon as you said realtor, I knew who you were talking about. Oh, we also had the reverse mortgage lady, which was a very important show.
We had Lisa on.
A lot of people did not know what was going on with that. And, we just want to bring you people that, you can actually benefit from.
And they're the experts. We're not. Because we could talk about it. We could look something up and read it. But that doesn't mean we have the full knowledge, because we're in that field doing it every day. We have people like financial planners that do trust and all of that want to come on, that we're looking at getting people on. So yeah, if anybody has suggestions, and we say this a lot, tell us. If you want to come on and discuss something, please reach out and let us know, because that's what this is for. And especially if you're an expert or you have detailed information. I am going to keep trying to look up this other bill too.
It might not be written by her if it's not on that list. Or it may not even be ready to be shown. So they haven't done it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm going to keep looking it up, because he said it was Senate. I think he said, not Assembly. Let me scroll back up. I think he said 851. Did that come and get deleted? It's not there anymore. I don't see it anymore. Well, we'll look it up. We'll try to get the information that Zaire was talking about, and see, what's what, and read that text, or at least have a link so people can read that text.
Is that one right there?
Oh, you did find it. Yeah. He said the bill I got passed protects 851 is for Altadena and Palisades. So I'm not sure what bill that is. The bill that I got passed protects. Not sure what that is. I wonder if it's simply
the only one I saw was the 658, which involves Palisades and Altadena, and that one has so many.
Oh, here it is. It's Assembly bill, not Senate bill. Oh. I just put up AB 851 instead. It says real property transactions, County of Los Angeles wildfires, unsolicited offers. So it looks like it protects people from unsolicited offers, and that bill has a lot of prohibit a buyer from making an unsolicited offer to purchase any 1 to 4 family residential property. I'm gonna try to scroll down. Yeah, it doesn't. So here, vote 2 to 3, no. Appropriation, no. Fiscal committee, yes. Local program, yes. So not sure that that's passed yet either. Don't know, but I'll look into it more. It was published on 3/27, introduced by Assembly Member McKenna. I don't know who that is or where they are. I'm gonna look that person up on February 19th. So that's not anything that was with Senator Sasha Perez. And that person, their district is District 61, Tina McKinnon, McKinnor. And she's in District 61. And I'm not sure.
They're hearing this on July 1st, though.
Yep. So it hasn't passed yet either. But that is a, yeah. So we'll keep you guys posted on that as well. But she's,
it's passed by the Assembly. It's now going to the Senate, according to this.
So it's not fully passed and made law, and funds have been allocated towards it. And her district is Hawthorne, Inglewood, the airports, Marina Del Rey, parts of El Segundo. Yeah, just south of Windsor Hills. So that's where Tina McKinnon is. She's Assembly District 61, and that's Assembly Bill 851. And it is not passed yet. It passed the Assembly, but not the, yeah, here's the bill analysis, here's the vote, the floor, all of that. So there are things working through the Assembly and the Senate to see what can be done. So hopefully there is some good that comes out of it.
Yeah. I always go and look at the status.
That's where I am too. I'm on the status now, but I went to the votes, the history, the analysis, compare the versions. It's all
so
there.
The Assembly passed it. It's now got to go to the Senate.
Yeah. Cool beans.
So they'll be looking at that on July 1st.
Yep. Committee hearing date, Senate Judiciary.
And we'll be keeping an eye on this now so that, you know, we'll be more aware of these things, because we really want to make sure that we all are speaking on the same page, going down the same path. So, you know,
and it's
but that's how
okay
things get done. People talk and we meet right here, and now we're all in unison.
It's okay to correct one another. It's okay to say, oops, I messed up, because I was saying for a minute, hey, my understanding is that 10% or 200 square feet will not be anything over 11 to, you know, whatever percent would be charged anew, but the first 10% wouldn't. And when Jeffrey Prang came on, the assessor, he was like, no, all of it, even the 10%, because we put this bill, Assembly Bill 1253 up, and it was not, it didn't pass, but that would have made it so that the code changes line up with the taxation. And I was like, oh, thank you for letting me know that I was wrong and that I've been saying it wrong, right? Over and over. I said that here. I'll say it again today and any other day, because I don't ever want to give out inaccurate information.
Yeah, me neither. I've been clowned a couple of times myself saying something wrong.
But it's not even clowned. It's again, there's so much that is changing, or so much that we don't know. And if you read something and you understand it a certain way, because on the county website, and he said, yeah, the county says it, but that's strictly for permitting. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Because if we don't know, we just don't know. So that's why it's like, let's bring the experts on. They have the understanding. They're the experts. They can come on here and say it. And that's what we'll continue to do. So, and if, you know, again, somebody gets upset with us, so sorry. We're just going to try to always bring on the right people and get the accurate information and go from there. So that was a nice, good, robust discussion today.
Well,
because
we was about to jump off anyway.
I know we were, so it extended us, but it was good because he came on, or he was already on, and was watching it and chimed in. So that was perfect timing, Zaire.
Well, if we could just get 20 more people that watch it to do the same thing. I know y'all like to watch, But this is called Altadena Talks, not Altadena Watches. So please jump on the comments if you look like you're an interesting character, because Zaire, you're gonna have to come on here. You know, we're gonna have to get you to open up and tell what you know, because that's the whole point of this. Altadena people don't want to go against each other. We want to be in unison. So if it gets to the point where, you know, we got to go like and then we finally go like this, then that's what it's going to take.
That's good.
We always had the same thing, trying to collab, and that's what that thing last Friday was all about, trying to figure out the pieces to the puzzle and who can put it together the fastest, and let's be on that team. You know.
Well, you know, that's the whole, what are the 5 stages of group development, right? And that's that forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning, right? Because first of all, when you get together as a group, you form, right? The storming part is I think this way, and I think this way, and everybody doesn't necessarily,
which is what we were doing that Friday.
Right. It's almost sometimes like oil and water. Anytime you are on a team, any kind of team, and it's a new team, you're going to go through that. You're going to go do the forming. You're going to go through the storming. Then you'll get to the norming, which is, okay, we're at a more normalized process. And then you get to performing. You're like a well-oiled machine. And then at the end of that particular project and on to the next or that phase is the adjourning. But there are 5 stages, right, to group development. But that's the same thing right now in Altadena. We're in the 5 stages of redeveloping our town. And we're in that storming part. And sometimes, because there's a bunch of different groups that have formed, but now you got to go through the storming part and say, okay, we don't need this part of it. We don't need this part. We need to focus on this to move forward. And that's where we are. So yeah, any good, robust discussions are well needed.
And what people got to realize is that progression is happening. You see the hazmat stuff, the toxic stuff, that phase is over. The clearing of the land, that phase is over. Now they're going to clear the rest of the town, because the ones that didn't opt in or out got to have theirs done by the 30th, or the whole month of July is going to be spent clearing your area that you abandoned. Or
they're going to do what? The list by the 15th is what the colonel said. He gets the list by the 15th of July. That's the deadline for the county to give him the abatement list, and then they'll start cleaning that. And that could be July through August or September. But they plan on being done fully. Their goal is September.
So just because you don't see that many trucks anymore, well, guess what? They'll be back for your neighbor's property that didn't decide he wanted to opt in or out. Or all of the spots on Lake that are still looking gruesome. Like, I think the first place to get a sign up was Aldi. And that was
one of the first ones to get that notice.
Yeah, because, you know, you got stinking food in there. And you got to remember what you got going in there. You got rubble on top of rotten food. And, you know, you're talking about air quality. Everybody worried about, that's toxic. You ever open your refrigerator up and have some bad chicken in there that you forgot that's way in the back that your kids tried to hide from you because they wanted to eat it? And I'm going, it smelled like that freezer stank. You know, you open the freezer, got something in there. I'm like, oh, man. And that's what the town, that area is going to be. Or you go by a pissy area of when Old Town wasn't new. It was
in
the
Hollywood,
bums, remember?
different places.
Yeah, all those areas. Walk of Fame. Everybody, look, if you're from out of state, don't come here thinking that you're going to see glamorous glitz and glamour on Hollywood. It's not like.
You remember I went to the Fawn Weaver thing May 13th in Hollywood?
Yeah.
The whiskey, Ooh, bruh. I was walking, I parked and I was walking.
You needed a drink before.
The whiff of urine was like, oh God. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm in Hollywood, right? But that's what it reminded me of, because you just said that.
Holly stank.
I was like, oh yeah.
Well, you know, I've been doing nonprofit stuff for a long time, and there was an event that we used to do once a month in the summer for 3 events down in Skid Row. It was a hygiene event. My job was to simply film everybody doing facials, cutting hair, doing manicure. The whole point is we're trying to bring you in there so we can clean you up a bit, because we know that there's a mentality to why people are like they are. And then you get somebody that just wants to get all up in your face and thanking you, and you're going,
you're like, woo!
that's okay. I appreciate you. It's like my nostril hairs are burning out, my eyebrows are gone. And I'm not saying this to be laughing at them or anything like that, but it's a fact. And it's hard to talk to somebody who has a pungency about it. It's just hard. I mean, I feel self-conscious when I ain't taking a shower. Now I got an emergency, go somewhere. And I'll tell people right away, hey, man, I stink. Stay away from me. I'm just going to let you know. And I might not even stink, but to me, I ain't taking a shower, so I stink.
You can always, look, I remember my mother and grandmother used to always say, you can always smell yourself before someone else does.
Well,
so that's when it's like, well,
here's the thing. That's true. But are you ignoring it or doing something about it? I know some people.
Well, anywho, I don't know that there's anything else to discuss on the show today. So
we'll talk about hygiene at a later date, like maybe like November.
Right. And I don't know who's going to be on with us tomorrow. I have to do some follow-up calls, and we'll try to announce it on our AltadenaTalks community page or whatever later for tomorrow for Tony Talks. It might be Valerie. But I gotta make some.
What's so funny is this show we were saying we were going to get off in 30 minutes. It's been an hour.
I know, that's why we're getting ready to now. I just looked at the clock. I was like, why are we still on here? But we had the comments from Zaire, and then we had the whole discussion.
but we're just going to let you guys know, if the audience is engaged, we'll go as long as 5 hours if we got an engaged audience. Because
I don't know that I'm gonna sit on here with y'all for 5 hours.
Oh, I'll sit on here with you too.
Right.
Because all I'm doing after this is going to make a sandwich. In fact, I think today might be pizza or pho.
So we're gonna say toodles. See y'all tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Hope y'all enjoyed the discussion today. We will find out about those bills, a little bit more information. We'll follow them because we know one is suspended and one is going to Senate Judiciary on the 1st. So we'll follow.
Regardless, we want Altadena to win and stay strong. So that's why we're here every day. And we welcome people to come on and challenge, talk, advocate,
have a good time,
desegregate, whatever it is you got on your mind that's got something to do with Altadena that might need to be heard. AltadenaTalks is your show. Come on. Give us your tired, your poor, your disgruntled, your I'm tired of it all.